so sorry.
Du ser på
Miles, they're poor sick children who need our care.
om litt vid.
Our first game is called Women in the News. Each contestant gets some props, which contain clues to a woman who was featured in this week's newspapers. They simply have to guess who the woman is. Dara, you go first. You get a toilet seat and some money. Apparently Riverdance started that way.
Really? Yeah. And then ended with this. Yeah, it's Monopoly money and a toilet seat, and I presume you don't any toilet humour. I presume that this is a throne, and this is that Monopoly money, so that the obvious logical conclusion is that the Queen of England is going to jail. Do not pass go, do not collect £200. And I can only presume it's because people finally found that white Fiat Uno at the back of Buckingham Palace after all this time.
Well, I'll give you a point for getting a royal reference in there. The actual answer is that Elvis died on a toilet seat. The king died on his throne, so to speak. And this week his daughter Lisa Marie inherited all his millions. And this was how the story was reported in the Star newspaper. In an amazing public display, Michael Jackson and ex-wife Lisa Marie Presley kissed and hugged in public, a week after she inherited her dad's £100 fortune. Bit disappointing, I would have thought that was. Apparently, though, they do feel now that Lisa Marie is responsible enough to deal with all this wealth. She has done some responsible things in the past, like marry a man constructed mainly of rubber. Actually, Dave, before we do your question,
yes,
you
sir.
are a very lucky man.
Why is that?
Because we happened to be going through the VT library just by accident.
As you do.
And we came across this Keep Fit program,
boys
Keep
on,
Fit with
isn't it?
Mary Rose. And we can show you a bit of this VT now. Have a look at this. Oh, look! Be quiet. Look at it. Look, it broke up just when they were going to start skipping. I mean, how lucky can you get? You were a big follower of Dennis the Menace.
Lucky old man. Well, Sting, actually. I was a fan of Sting at the time.
So you get a mop, which you probably need for your
Yeah, I've
seat now,
seen this,
actually,
yeah.
after that. And you also get a burglar's mask.
Yeah.
So what story do you think that is?
Well, the thing is that not many people know this, but I'm pretty good at Swedish. And this here is a mask, right? And the Swedish for mask, believe it or not, is chumba. And last week at the Brit Awards, John Prescott, the Deputy Prime Minister of Britain, was bucketed with a big bucket of water by Chumbawamba. So I presume he needs this to mop it up.
That was the
I can
bloke
see by your
from-
face I'm losing this
That
one.
was the bloke from Chumbawamba.
That was the bloke from Chumbawamba.
Okay, just quick rewind here. This round is called Women in the News.
There you go. Rock and roll.
But if I recall, that particular bloke does wear a skirt occasionally.
This is
so
it,
I'll
this
give you a
is
point
why I
for
said
that.
thanks for
Actually,
that.
I thought it might have been something to do with the fact that Dave Fanning does so many television programmes now that they feel the public are getting tired of him. They want him to wear a mask and make 10 other television programmes.
So you'll be going for drinks afterwards then. Well, actually, the actual answer is Sister Greta Connaughton from Tuam, who's obviously a nun. And she was in the news this week because she came across a burglar trying to break into the convent in Tuam, so she bashed him with a mop. Apparently she thought he was a pupil, so she just reacted on impulse, you know.
And is this the burglar reference?
That's the burglar reference, yes.
I have to admit I paid good money to be bashed with a mop by a nun.
Brendan, your go. You get a rosette, a fish and a lobster. Very natural pairing there. So
Yeah.
who do you think that is?
I'm thinking lobster pot. I'm thinking potluck. I'm thinking dead fish. I'm thinking potluck, dead fish, Carrie Crowley. And I'm thinking rosette. I'm thinking either Carrie won at the Fesh again this week, or else she won Best of Breed somewhere.
Well, I do be on the radio with Carrie Crowley, so I have to give you no points for that. Sorry about that.
Am I right?
You're not, unfortunately. The fish refer to things of the sea, which of course is a line from All Kinds of Everything, the song made famous by Dana, who you may have heard of, obviously not. And she is coming back here, and the rosette obviously refers to elections. She's coming back here for a fortnight. Obviously she's not come back for long enough, so she has to pay tax in this country. And she does say she wants to run for election and represent Ireland in the European Parliament, so she can have huge expenses and not pay tax in this country. So no points for that, I'm afraid. Though many people do say that Dana is a bit of an angel, and tonight we have the VT to prove it. Bernard, anyway, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
You must have a bit of a tax bill yourself now.
Got you.
Did he say a dirty word? Yes.
Telling all men don't say dirty words.
Oh, no. Blind date contestant in dirty word shop. Yeah, I would think not. Bernard, when you're a strippogram, do you wear a little pouch, or what's the story? Or do you do the whole hog?
I think I never reveal what I wear on any given occasion, you know, because I always like to leave the ladies in curiosity. That's why they call curiosity.
So would it be sort of like a little pouch, maybe?
Well, a cross sort of between boxer shorts and underwear and a wee pouch, you know.
Not a big pouch, then?
Well, I'll leave that to your imagination.
Ooh. Sorry, no good. Tried. Okay, so you have your two props there. You have a big sort of a giant orange zit thing there. There it is there.
First of all, I have a pumpkin.
Yeah.
And
Is that what it is? All right, yeah.
Well, I think that's what it is, a big pumpkin. And I have a pair of glasses. See like that there, pair of glasses. Pair of glasses. Yeah.
These are the glasses Bernard confiscates off the women in the audience before he strips.
The pumpkin takes me back to the 70s when I was at school. When we used to read the wee ladybird books about Cinderella. Mm-hmm. But you see, since Cinderella is not in the news at the minute. Since Cinderella is not in the news at the minute, that takes me to the next piece of evidence, which is these glasses. They're a bit like the glasses that Polly Yates wears, but what the connection I can't make is the connection between Polly Yates and the pumpkin. But I'm still satisfied to say Polly Yates.
Right, okay. It's the wrong answer. But it's the weirdest answer, so I'll give you 2 points for that. The actual answer is the celebrity chef Darina Allen. This week she voiced her opposition to genetic experiments, and apparently Daniel O'Donnell is very hurt by those comments. Thing is, though, she does have a point, because there have been genetic experiments going on in this country for some time, even on humans. Now, here's an Irish football crowd. Have a look at this. There's an ordinary Irish football. There's the Incredible Hulk jumping up and down there in the centre. So, after that round, the scores are that Dara's team got 2 points and Brendan's team got 2 points. We do have some actually tremendous researchers on this show. They're so good, in fact, that they managed to find another taped version of the Dave Fanning skipping VT. Let's see Dave in action. It's hard to spot who was the girl in that one. Time now to pay the rent, but when we return with the increasing trouble in the Gulf, we discover a surprise competitor in the last Olympics. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now, as I was saying, sometimes the most surprising people turn up at the Olympic Games, and we have some videotape to illustrate this. Look at that boxer. It's Saddam Hussein boxing in the Olympics. Hey, look, hit me in the head. My brain can't be more damaged than it is already. Go on. Go on. Oh, no, that's it at the end of it. Thanks very much. Good night. Time now for State of the Nation, where we test how much in tune our contestants are with the average Middle East dictator on the street. This week we stayed in Dublin to go to the opening of a fancy restaurant.
Dublin is, of course, the glitziest capital in Europe at the moment, full of Hollywood stars, celebs, beautiful people, and prominent members of Fianna Fáil. And tonight they're all inside this place here. It's called GB Shaw's Restaurant in the Harcourt Hotel in Dublin. They're opening it, and later on Taoiseach Bertie Ahern will come and open the place. He's delayed at the moment because he's opening a chip shop in Ranelagh. It'll be here very shortly. And there is one of the prominent Fianna followers we refer to. That's Tom Kitt, prominent government minister. Last week voted the most romantic politician in the Dáil. And as you can see, Tom likes to ladle back the drink as well, because just romance itself doesn't always work. This is Taoiseach there talking to Mr. Pussy. That's something you don't see every day.
So there you go. That was GB Shaw's Restaurant. Now, obviously, because we're a public service broadcaster, we can't recommend that you go to GB Shaw's Restaurant. And anyway, they didn't give us any free stuff, so why should we? So, Brendan, you go first. Dublin is to have a gay Mardi Gras. It's going to be a bit like a Paddy's Day parade, except much neater, obviously. So the question we asked was, Dublin is to have a gay Mardi Gras. Should they close the churches that day so the priests can go? So we asked this woman, did she say A, pina colada, yeah? B, I'll have to ask my boyfriend, he's a priest. Or C, I don't understand the question.
Well, I presume the woman who answered the question was a model, yeah?
Yes, indeed, she was.
So she probably said I don't understand the question.
All right, so you're going for C. Okay, well, let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Dublin is going to have a gay Mardi Gras. Do you think they should close the churches that day so the priests can go?
Close the churches? Well, my boyfriend is a priest, so I'll have to ask him that question. Can I get back to you on that one?
Okay, thanks very much.
All right, no points there. Bernard, your go. The big news story of the week for you was the release of Neil Jordan's latest film, The Butcher Boy, all about the high-powered world of young butchers, obviously. And just to lighten the tone, apparently there's a cameo appearance from Sinead O'Connor. A bit of a step down for Sinead, obviously, because she plays the Virgin Mary in this. So the question we asked was, Sinead O'Connor acts as a chain-smoking Virgin Mary in a new film. Will Gay Byrne object to his mother being depicted this way? Remedial audience in tonight, obviously. So we asked the question of this woman. Did she say, I might be a model, but I can sing and act too? B, Gay Byrne's mother is a virgin? Or C, I don't understand the question?
I wouldn't have a notion. I don't know, I just wouldn't have a notion.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Sinead O'Connor is to act as a chain-smoking Virgin Mary in a new film. Do you think Gay Byrne will mind his mother being depicted this way?
Well, just I should get poor old Gay. I mean, you know, his mother. Is his mother still a virgin?
Sorry. It's all about winning.
That's a bit unfair.
It's all about winning.
She didn't understand the question. She just didn't admit it.
No, it has to be one of the three
She didn't
options.
rely she didn't understand the question.
We can go for Stuart's inquiry later on. Bernard, is there seriously now, is there something about Donegal men that has an effect on women, do you think?
Well, I think we're a sort of a romantic race. That's my feeling on the matter anyway.
Because we do actually have some VT of Daniel O'Donnell, who is a man, obviously. But you know, as you know, all these women go up to Kincashlet every 2 years to have tea outside his house. Now, this is VT of a woman. This is just how desperate she was to have tea with Daniel O'Donnell.
I'm waiting to go in hospital now. I cancelled the operation so that I could come here. Are you serious? Yes, no, let's see, yeah. What did your doctor have to say about that? Oh, nothing. They just put me back on the waiting list. So, I mean, I've waited 7 years to go in hospital, so I mean, another few more weeks won't matter.
You get your tea?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
That woman was waiting 7 years for an operation, and rather than have the operation, went to see Daniel O'Donnell. But she got her cup of tea.
Well, yeah, we're all proud of our Daniel.
Jesus, yeah.
We're all proud of
Dara, a few interesting stories about mobile phones this week for Dara. The first one was this one. This is about a man living in Clare who thought aliens were contacting him through his mobile phone. Apparently he's got an 085, that's the intergalactic network, you know. And purely by pure coincidence, Fianna Fáil also voted to ban the use of mobile phones in the Dáil Bar this week. Not connected, of course. So the question we asked was, Fianna Fáil want to ban the use of mobile phones in the Dáil Bar? Is this zero tolerance on talking rubbish? We asked this man, and yes, it's Minister Tom Kitt, the Fianna Fáil love machine. No rubbish on this show. Did he say, A, yes, it's easy to have a go at Fianna Fáil. B, it's because of the Labour handlers, some of them have 2 phones. Or C, hello, my name is Tom Kitt, vote for me.
You know the way, if a mobile phone goes off in public, like, and people find themselves talking in this really loud and stupid and attention-seeking way, I thought that would have fitted in perfectly to the Dáil Bar, you know. In terms of the answers in front of me, I would say that it would have to be... it's very easy to have a go at the Fianna Fáil. Very
good, Fianna Fáil. Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Minister, Fianna Fáil have voted to ban the use of mobile phones in the Dáil Bar. Is that zero tolerance on talking rubbish?
Well, now, I think the thinking behind this must go back to the days of the Labour Party, when we had quite a number of handlers and programme managers with mobile phones, not just 1 but maybe 2. So the answer is yes.
Actually, though, we did say to Tom Kitt that that would boost his youth vote if he came on the show. So, you know, don't seem stuck now. Do your best now, you know what I mean? Of course, we're only skating about Tom Kitt being a love machine and all the rest of it. We do have some VT for you of a bona fide love machine. Actually, this is very, very rare footage. He's actually demonstrating his technique. Have a look at this.
5.
Dave, you big throbby man, you.
So it goes.
Anyway, it's your go. Pulsating, Dave.
Give us a question. Quick.
Your big story this week was that Fianna Fáil have a media monitoring unit where it's claimed they're paying out £130,000 a year for people to listen to the radio. Now, apparently there's another scheme where they pay people to listen to the radio. It's called being on the dole. So the question we asked was, Fianna Fáil are paying people to listen to the radio. Is there a lesson here for Radio Ireland? We asked this man.
This is my question.
Did he say, A, nobody listens to Radio Ireland, I'm from Sky News actually. B, I'm from Today FM actually, and that's not funny. Or C, you wouldn't believe how locked I am.
I think it's none of the above, actually. I'd say it's most likely something along the lines of, like, let's turn this around. Let's, in other words, get everybody in the Dáil to listen to the radio, we'll pay them, and then our listenership will go up 50% just as a stroke. Am I allowed to take that now? I have to take one of those 3?
Unfortunately, it's one of the 3, yes. You know, women in the news, one of these 3.
It's got to be C.
It's got to be C.
It's got to be C.
You won't believe how locked I am. Let's have a look at the VT and find out.
Fianna Fáil are paying people to listen to the radio. Do you think there's a lesson there for Radio Ireland?
Yeah, Radio Ireland has absolutely no listeners at all, and it's getting worse. Today FM is not the station to be listening to. Thank you very much.
Who do you work for?
I work for Sky News, but you don't want to put that on telly.
Oh, yes, we did.
It was there.
And they say there's a shortage of tossos in the country. I know. I'd give you a point there because he did look locked out of his head, to be honest with you. Actually, on the subject of media monitoring, a Fine Gael TD, Charles Flanagan, was given out this week because of the programme Oireachtas Report, which just has long, boring bits about the Dáil in it. A member of the audience just said Portlaoise. His first word. It's such a beautiful moment. Anyway, Charles Flanagan was given out because the Oireachtas Report is now scheduled for 2:30 in the morning. And he claims this is a slot only for drunks and insomniacs. Now, RT asked me to point out that Oireachtas Report is a programme about drunks and insomniacs. So just thought we'd clear that up. And at the end of that round, Dara's team scored 1 point and Brendan's team scored no points. We win. Completely arse about face. And so as the show races to a thrilling conclusion, there's just enough time for our final round, 60 seconds of facts. As usual, I'll ask a minute's worth of questions about the week's events. I'll award a point for the right answer, or 2 if the players can get a laugh out of the studio audience. Brendan and Bernard, your 60 seconds of facts starts now. 2FM DJ Simon Young has a part in Brendan O'Carroll's new movie. What's his character called?
Given that it's Brendan O'Carroll, I presume it's How's Your Ginger Nuts or something.
Close, it's Bubbles, actually, what it's called. A top paediatrician has criticised parents for using what when pacifying children?
Louise Woodward masks.
Sure, only got a minute. Soothers is the right answer. A 40-year-old man in Texas stripped naked and started to quack like a duck. Why?
Just one of those awkward kind of pauses in the conversation.
He was refused a bank loan is the answer. The police are investigating claims that Brigitte Nielsen did what?
Bernard McHugh.
Bernard? No comment. Okay, slip with an Arab sheik for $500,000 is the answer. What did Boris Yeltsin confess last week?
I shot JR.
His love for Italian women, apparently. Bono complained about something last week. What was it?
Bernard McHugh.
No, it was cigarette sponsorship. So, Dara and Dave, D&D, your 60 seconds of facts starts now. In Mickey Mouse comics, the level of what has risen since 1952?
Drug use, marital breakdown, crime.
Is the right answer. They give a point for that. What did Posh Spice forget to do last week?
David Beckham.
Mine.
Pay duty or an engagement ring. More than 20% of men who suffer from impotence blame the breakup of their relationships on what?
Impotence.
An ugly wife. They're just not ready for a commitment.
I'll give you 3 points to that. Well answer and funny answer. The Olympic snowboard champion has kept his medal despite what?
It was marijuana.
Stupidity.
People thought he'd taken marijuana. Why? In the speed of getting spent.
1 point, that's the right answer. A leading psychiatrist has advised sufferers of road rage to do what?
Ram their car repeatedly into other drivers. Get out of the
Relax is the real answer. What have they replaced Captain Birdseye with?
A big robot with a beard.
A younger model, apparently. Close enough. Men in New Zealand are setting up a gay what?
Sheep farm.
Fish and chip shop.
It's actually a rugby team. Oh, well, that's the end of your 60 seconds. Imagine what your hack is going to be. So the final scores at the end of that game, at the end of the entire programme, are in fact that Brendan's team scored 15, Dara's team scored 18 points, and they're tonight's winners. Well, it's bye-bye time now. We'll be back doing the same thing next week, but wearing different clothes, obviously. Thanks to Dara's guest, Dave Fanning, and with Brendan, Bernard McHugh. But as we go, another story of the week concerned claims that radioactive pigeons might be making their way over here from the nuclear reprocessing plant at Sellafield. Earlier on, I rang Sellafield to express my concern. Thanks for helping us feed the gondolas. Good night.
Hello, you're through to the press office.
Hello, yes. I'm phoning you from Ireland, from a little village in the west of Ireland called Ahascra. And I'm concerned because there were reports in the newspapers here yesterday there are radioactive pigeons that were in Sellafield and that they were flying over to Ireland.
That's completely untrue. They are not flying over to Ireland at all. We do have a flock of pigeons here at Sellafield, some of which we found some low levels of contamination on them.
Well, you see, part of my concern stemmed from the fact that last weekend a neighbour of mine, Mrs. Malooly, was at a social function in Ahascra, and she was leaving at the public house. Well, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, but there was no drink involved because she only went into the pub at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she claims she saw birds glowing in the sky, and I thought that might be that wouldn't happen, would it?
No, that wouldn't. I'm afraid that's one of the fallacies about Sellafield.
Oh, yes.
Radiation makes people or animals glow. That's
because also, my husband Finbar, he uses pigeon droppings, you know, to grow shamrock. It's all around our house. We actually can't see our house now because of the shamrock. It's lovely. But there would be no concern from that, would there?
No, not at all. Honestly, you'd probably call them more of a pest. They're certainly not a pigeon that people eat.
Oh, they would be a pest. Well, if they're radioactive, they would be a pest, I would think, you know, yes. But, well, thanks very much for clearing that up now. We can still throw the droppings at the house then. That's the main thing. My husband will be very relieved.
Okay.
Thank you very much now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Completely the wrong